in the conversation, feel free. We welcome that. I am your host, Abdullah. With me in the station, Brother Abdul Fattah Shabazz, Detroit's finest. Detroit's finest usually means police officers, and that's what we say. Alhamdulillah, we are pleased to have you here with us, Brother Shabazz. Jazakallah khair for taking your, some of your time and coming in here and sharing your thoughts with us. Today we'll be talking a little bit, about Brother Shabazz, about his life experience with reverting into Islam. We do have his story right on the channel. If you are familiar, if you've probably already seen the video, or if you haven't, it will be inshallah in the comments below or in the description below. Bi'idhnillah ta'ala, you can click on it and you can check it out. Also, today, as you know, a lot of people consider this to be a new year. This is a new calendar year for the people who go by that, the year of 2019 now to 2020. I know that big thing, but as Muslims, we go by the Hijri calendar. But either way, what I'm saying, it's just another day. Alhamdulillah, another show. We're doing our thing. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We're gonna get straight to it, and we're gonna have Brother Shabazz introduce himself a little bit for those people who never seen him before, never interacted with him before. Bismillah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman. Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, my name is Abdul Fattah Shabazz. I'm a Detroit police officer. I've been one for going on 27 years now. I'm a Detroit resident and been here all my life. Nothing really special about me. I'm born in,
Not special.
Yeah, like I said, I'm born and raised here. I went to Cass Tech.
Okay. Cass Tech in the house.
That's right.
All right. Alhamdulillah.
And I don't know what to say about
that. Last time, we had a big thing together was in Hajj. Alhamdulillah. My first time in Hajj. I don't know, was it your first time too?
My first time.
That was your first time. And we actually met in Hajj, subhanAllah. I don't know. I didn't know he was there. He didn't know I was there, subhanAllah. And I was mixing and mingling with everybody. And boom, Brother Shabazz rose up on me like, what? MashaAllah, that's what's up. Alhamdulillah, right? It was a great experience.
Yes, it was.
For me, it was, the first time ever. And that was like one of lifetime experiences. And for him, I believe so as well, mashallah. It was a great opportunity to be there, and a great opportunity to meet brothers like Brother Shabazz, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. So let's get to it, Brother Shabazz. I know, mashallah, you've been a Muslim for quite a while, and you actually joined the force of policing Detroit, or being a Detroit police officer as a Muslim. So you were a Muslim already.
Correct.
But we do have issues in the police force. And we're not going to get to the issues right now, but as a police officer in Detroit, tell us a little bit about it. I know Detroit, was back in the day, it was one of the maybe top cities in America with crime and crazy rates. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How is it as a police officer in Detroit? How do you live your day? Tell me, please.
Well, I guess after 27 years, it was. In the beginning, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Let's start over. I was familiar with police work, even though policeman before I, joined the police department.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the challenge of Detroit police, I kind of figured, I knew what Detroit was about. Like I said, I've been born and raised here, so I knew that Detroit was always. Had challenges. So my Gil Hill is my neighbor, and my best friend that lived 2 hours down from me, he was a police officer also. So, like I say, I knew about the challenges, about the crime, but I thought I could do my part in joining the police department.
MashaAllah. So you had the excitement growing up, wanting to be a police officer. You know how we when we were younger, we always played, like the police officer and the thief with our brothers, with our, friends and stuff. Right. And we either wanted to be the police officer or, we wanted to be the thief, and just playing that game throughout growing up.
Right.
And now, subhanAllah, you joined the actual force and you are working to help the city that you grew up in to become better.
Right.
Most importantly.
Yes.
And with being a Muslim and a police officer, I'm pretty sure the challenges were different for such a police officer.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about those challenges?
Well, in the beginning, like I say, this is I spent 8 years in the military in the Marine Corps first. So when I got back home, it was a layoff. The police department. So 3 years later, I joined in 1993. I joined the police department. Now, I say that because there wasn't a lot of hiring going on at the time. So we had still old school police officers and old school things. It's not like today. So I'm like one of the, I believe, I don't know how many, but there's only about a handful of Muslim police officers in the Detroit Police Department.
Right.
So when I got on, as stereotypical as always it is with Islam, me being an African American, they think that automatically I was on one end. Some people say, well, I was in the Nation of Islam.
Oh,
so
okay.
Y'all thought, well, Farrakhan, Nation of Islam. Because of course, Detroit was
a big Nation of Islam city.
We're temple number one, which is now on Linwood. Detroit was the first temple in the Nation of Islam, so we got a lot of historical
events
here. So I'm just saying it because everybody think I was automatically I was a militant in the beginning. On one end,
so they all thought that you were loyal to
the
Nation of Islam more than you are to the police department.
Well, no, they thought I was just anti-white, that kind of the angry, the black militant Muslim.
Right.
Then on the other end, some people thought, well, I adopted Arab culture.
Oh, okay.
That now I'm on the other end. I'm thinking like some things that are stereotyped with Middle Eastern culture. I got both ends of it.
Right.
So it was they didn't understand. A lot of people didn't understand. I was like to tell them, look, I'm a Sunni. I follow the Quran and I'm a follower of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. The Sunnah. So I had to school people about, look, Islam is a worldwide religion. It's not just a black religion.
Right.
It's not just an Arab religion. There's people around the world, as you see in Hajj, that are Muslim. So
all types.
All types, all races and creeds and colors.
All different colors and all that.
Right.
All that good stuff. Mashallah.
So I had to I had to constantly explain, the difference.
Yeah, you got to always remind people
what
you're upon, and they look at you differently, and they always judge.
Right.
Because that's I guess the nature of humans in general. They look, they judge, and then they think. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, where it should be, how it should be done, where you see something you're not sure of, you come and ask a question. If you have a misconception, like we talked about on the radio show here, alhamdulillah, there are some misconceptions that you are familiar with and you think this is the truth. Why don't you take one more step and ask about that misconception?
Right.
SubhanAllah. So you were looked at as a stereotype, a Muslim who came in maybe with a lot of hatred and anger and what people keep talking about on the media,
right.
How Muslims are and stuff like that, which is all false. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it very clear. And we are working hard to make it very clear that Muslims are not a stereotype. Muslims are Quran. We have our guidelines, and the scripture is right there open for everybody to read. But make sure you read everything. Don't just read one line and go on and judge us with one line. You know what I mean? That is not fair. You need to read the entire book, read cover to cover, and then come and judge us. But I tell you what, if you read cover to cover, you can come back a Muslim, inshallah, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, you walk in and you start, doing your work, and you must face also difficulties with people, not police officers, people themselves. When they see you, coming at them, let's say you pull somebody over or whatever. Have you ever had that kind of challenge where somebody look at you differently because one, you're a black officer. Second of all, if they notice that you're a Muslim, is that kind of also difficult sometimes, or doesn't occur?
Not as much as it used to be. They don't really see me as initially they only see me as a black officer. I don't believe, or a Muslim. They just see me as a police officer.
As a police officer,
yes,
that's it. There's no color in police officers, huh?
Well, of course, with the interactions with the different, with the Caucasians and the white and the blacks, there might be a little difference, but they still in the beginning they're gonna see blue.
I see.
Yeah, people still they're gonna see blue.
Right.
They're not gonna see me.
It's on the podcasts, any platform or podcast you can find us. Just type in the Revert Radio or the Revert Podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, and thank you, Brother Shabazz, for being here. Jazakallah khair for taking that much of your time out. I know you got a busy day. I know it's you got so many things going on, but this is sharing the love and the information with everybody, with the world, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us and everybody who participated in making this happen. So we're back to the experiences, and we'll talk about that hot topic in a little bit. But Shabazz told me there's a few experiences that might have came up when you first joined the force back in the day that you might want to share with us, inshallah.
Yeah, like I say, I spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, so I've been around the world. I've been involved with everybody. But, there was, like I said, the misconception about a Muslim. I had some challenges with some, I wanted to say white females, and my white, inspector. I'm not trying to be racial, but they had a misconception. So, you see, the first year in the police department, you're on probation. You are evaluated for your first year. You don't become officially a police officer until your first year. So once I got that year in, I was confirmed as you're no longer probationary police officer. You are a confirmed official police officer.
You're official.
That's correct.
But
one of my female, on my shift, she went to her inspector and said, maybe this guy, he don't like females. So, overriding one of my immediate supervisors, my sergeants and my lieutenant, said I was a good police officer. She decided to say, well, Officer Shabazz need to have his probation extended because she wrote it in her report, but she blacked it out. I'm a black Muslim.
Wow. Just like that, huh?
Just like that. But she blacked it out later. But you can see I had no problem with females. But I went to a hastily conceived a probationary board, and alhamdulillah that the commanders on there they saw through it and dismissed it, and I became a full-fledged police officer.
MashaAllah.
Yes.
So you were looked at as a black Muslim.
Yes.
And she thought that you might not be ready to be an official police officer. Because of that.
Because I might have some issues toward women.
Women generally.
Yeah, generally. And I was in the beginning. I was quiet. I'm really a quiet person.
MashaAllah. Yeah, that's how we know you. MashaAllah.
Yeah. So, but misconception was there, and she couldn't prove anything. That was her own.
Own judgment. Judging the book by its cover.
Yeah, overriding, like I say, usually military structure, your immediate supervisors and your shift lieutenant is going to say, well, we're going to go this route. No, but my inspector said, nah, I'm going to override what y'all saying and decide to, I'm going to send this probation, which was totally unfair and unwarranted. But like I said, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. That's written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to happen, it will happen. What situations might you mention to us throughout your career that you think that is a very unique situation that happened with you. I don't know if you can try to bring that through, your memory real quick. Share with us a moment that you thought that was very special for you while being on the force.
Well, that's nothing. I mean, I can't really say there's one special moment as far as just what
Just being a police officer, or maybe somebody, looking at you special because you're a police officer. Maybe you help somebody out. Maybe something like that. I know I never talked to you about this
Yeah.
before the show to try to think of.
Well, I just really after 27 years, like I said, being on the police department, I really, be honest with you, I really appreciate more than people. People don't seem to think that the public. There's a lot of people in the public that come up to me and was special to thank me for being a police officer. I had people pray, sir, I'm gonna pray for you.
MashaAllah.
And I appreciate the citizens of the city of Detroit. This is it's a love. It's all love here.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Because like I say, I have a lot of time. People, you always, like you say, it's a stereotype that everybody's angry at the police, and some people have maybe might have a legitimate gripe about being angry at me or anybody else on the police department. But I think that we have better civilian police interaction than that makes it special. I mean, it's special to me when people come up to me, and I be in line sometimes, and they say, "Wait a minute, I got the officer. I'm gonna pay for his sandwich."
Oh, mashallah.
And I really appreciate the citizens of Detroit.
Alhamdulillah.
That's what makes it special for me. The citizens of the city who show me a lot of love. And a lot of times I might give them a ticket. It costs them some money, but they still say, "Officer, you just doing your job."
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
And that's one thing we have to understand, everybody. I know whoever, I was young one day, and I have my feelings towards police officers. I have my share of tickets and, a lot of things that I don't like to mention. Police officers are doing their jobs. And those other police officers who might be taking advantage of their authority and who might be doing something extra or something outside of their duties, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide them to the right path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that they're not giving the wrong impression to people about police officers. We have police officers who are doing their job, and they're being honest in their jobs. Just because one or two people stepped outside of the lines of the actual duties of the police officers doesn't make all police officers bad. I tell you that. And I tell you that because I'm a Muslim and he's a Muslim, and there's a lot of Muslims, and there's a lot of bad Muslims out there that do things outside the line, outside the limits of a Muslim. And that causes stereotypes, and that causes people to look at Muslims in a very bad way. So everybody out there, please, if you have a misconception about something, some group, some ethnic background or whatever, some religion, do your research, man. We have the internet today. You have all the information on there. You can actually communicate with people and ask questions. We don't have too much time to talk about this, even though I wish we had more time, but we only have 30 seconds left. I do appreciate everybody who's on with us on the air. Yusuf, Ibrahim, Salman, everybody that's on there. Thank you very much being on there. Jazakumullah khair for sharing your thoughts. Thank you, Brother Shabazz, for being here. Thank you all. This is the Revert, and we'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace.